Many women go through life feeling a peculiar emptiness that doesn't stem from a lack of companionship, but from a profound disconnection from the world around them after significant internal changes. There is a loneliness that isn't synonymous with sad isolation, but rather a preparation of the soul for something much greater than common social interactions can offer today. Carl Jung believed that the individuation process often requires a natural distancing from the collective so that the voice of intuition can finally be heard without noise. If you look in the mirror and realize that your social circle has drastically shrunk, know that this may not be a failure, but a spiritual call for healing. The silence that now inhabits your schedule may be the sacred space where your true essence is beginning to blossom, far from the expectations and pressures of others. It is in this stage of stillness that a woman begins to distinguish who she truly is from who the world has demanded she be for so long in silence. This transition to a more restricted social life usually happens after a period of great emotional strain or a toxic experience that has shaken your internal structures. When we go through cycles of emotional manipulation, our internal filters change, and we no longer accept superficial connections that only drain our vital energy and peace. Jungian psychology suggests that withdrawal is a way to protect your deepest self, allowing wounds to heal without external interference. Often, the lack of female friends reflects an unconscious refusal to participate in dynamics based on appearances or exchanges that lack real depth. You are not becoming lonely due to an inability to relate, but because of a new and rigorous spiritual curation that prioritizes your self-worth above all else. This is the beginning of a journey where the quality of your own company becomes the foundation for all your future transformations and major reconstructions. The journey of the feminine soul towards self-knowledge demands a courage that few are willing to face, especially when the path seems to become narrower and quieter. For Carl Jung, encountering one's own shadow and the search for wholeness require leaving behind the social masks we wore to please various groups. This movement of introspection should not be seen as a mistake, but as a necessary maturation phase for your inner light to shine more brightly. By reducing the noise of others' conversations, you begin to tune in to the frequency of your spirit, something impossible to do when we are immersed in constant social dramas. Feel proud of your journey in search of truth, for it is in this solitude that the greatest secrets of the soul are revealed to those who dare to listen. Feminine spirituality gains a new layer of authority when you stop seeking validation from people who do not understand the depth of your new journey. Distancing yourself from old friendships may cause initial discomfort, but it's a clear sign that you no longer resonate with old patterns of behavior and thought. When a woman decides to heal, she naturally becomes less tolerant of gossip, unnecessary female rivalry, and friendships that exist only for social convenience or fear. This social vacuum is, in fact, a magnetic field being cleared so that new experiences much more aligned with your essence can manifest at the right time. Jung explained that what we lose in the external world is often gained twofold in inner richness, lucid dreams, and an extremely sharp and clear intuition. Don't try to fill this space with just anyone to avoid judgment about your social life, because this emptiness is an invitation to rebirth. The woman who walks alone for a while is learning to be her own guide, developing a silent strength that no one will be able to take away from her in the future. Often, a lack of friends is a direct result of a soul that has become too sophisticated for banal interactions that don't nourish life's greater purpose. You may notice that topics that once interested you now seem empty, and people who once made sense now seem to speak a completely different language. This distancing is a process of spiritual refinement, where the universe removes what is excessive so that you can focus only on what is essential for your peace. Accept this phase as a sacred retreat. an incubation period where your new personality is being carefully nurtured, away from curious or overly critical eyes. Depth psychology teaches us that solitude is the laboratory of the spirit, and you are the scientist of your own internal and emotional transformation. In the next step of this reflection, we will understand how this solitude connects with the archetypes of wisdom and how you can use this to your advantage. It's crucial to understand that your search for boundaries and self-respect may have alienated people who benefited from your past lack of self-awareness. When you start saying no and prioritizing your emotional health, those who aren't ready to evolve alongside you tend to naturally drift away. If you feel this content resonates with your story of rebuilding and seeking clarity, subscribe to the channel now. Here, we transform pain into awareness and seek tools for you to regain control of your narrative with elegance and strength. By joining this community, you strengthen your healing journey and discover that solitude can be a gateway to unprecedented freedom. Don't miss the next steps in our conversation about how Jungian psychology illuminates your days of discovery and new beginnings. The feeling of not belonging anywhere is, paradoxically, the first step towards truly belonging to oneself and the universe in a complete and unique way. Carl Jung described the process of becoming a complete individual as requiring us to break free from the chains of the collective that try to keep us in a comfortable average. When you don't have many friends, you have more time and energy to invest in dialogue with your unconscious, where your greatest hidden potentials reside. This time of social scarcity is actually an abundance of opportunity to organize your inner home and heal traumas that have been ignored during years of turmoil. Imagine yourself as a tree that, during winter, loses its leaves to concentrate all its vital energy in its roots, preparing for a splendid spring. Your social life may seem dry now, but your roots are deepening into fertile soil, ensuring that your future structure will be unshakable in the face of any storm. Spirituality shows us that we are guided by cycles, and the cycle of solitude is one of the most powerful for revealing our life's mission. Many women who find themselves alone after draining relationships are being protected from further interference while they recover their identity, which has been fragmented by patterns of control. This period of isolation serves to help you recover the pieces of your soul that were left behind in vain attempts to please others. By remaining silent, you allow your consciousness to expand and clarity about your true desires to finally emerge clearly and powerfully. There is no need to rush to find new connections. What matters most now is the connection you establish with your own inner wisdom. Trust that the universe knows your heart and that the right people will appear when you are fully integrated and secure in who you are. Deep psychology values the woman who can sustain her own perspective without constantly needing the approval of a group of friends or colleagues. Being able to enjoy one's own company without feeling boredom or despair is a sign of high emotional maturity and an invaluable spiritual achievement. Jung stated that the greatest tragedy for a human being is not becoming what they were born to be for fear of others' opinions. By embracing your current condition, you are breaking with centuries of social conditioning that dictates a woman should always be surrounded by people. You are proving that it is possible to be complete, happy, and spiritually connected, even when the social circle is restricted or non-existent for a time. This independence is the foundation for future relationships that will be healthy, balanced, and based on mutual admiration, not on a needy need for attention. Notice how your perception of reality has changed since you started spending more time with yourself and observing your thoughts more attentively. You have likely become more sensitive to the energies of environments and people, quickly identifying who brings peace and who brings chaos to your life. This sensitivity is a gift that develops in stillness and will serve as an infallible radar for your future choices in all areas. The lack of female friends is not a sign that you are a difficult person, but rather that you have become too self-aware for empty interactions. The refinement of your soul requires you to be selective, and this selectivity is what will ensure that your energy is preserved for what truly matters. Stay firm in your purpose of reconstruction, knowing that each day of solitude is an investment in the powerful and authentic woman you are becoming. According to Jung, a woman who finds herself with few friends is often immersed in the archetype of the hermit or the wise woman, seeking answers that the outside world does not provide. This introspective movement is vital for identifying and dismantling the patterns of control that once dominated her life. When we stop desperately seeking belonging to groups, we begin to belong to ourselves, and this is the highest form of self-respect. Closing off from the external world allows the opening of the inner world, where dreams and symbols guide her steps. It is a period of maturation where the energy that was spent trying to please others is redirected towards building an inner temple. Therefore, do not fear the silence of your phone or the nights at home. They are the fertile ground where your new identity is cultivated. This stage of life invites you to look at your female lineage and understand how friendships were experienced by the women who came before you. Often we carry burdens of distrust or emotional dependence that are not ours, but rather inheritances from generations that did not have the chance to heal. By experiencing this period of fewer friendships, you have the unique opportunity to break these ancestral cycles and define a new pattern of female relationships. You are clearing the path not only for yourself, but for future generations of women who will learn from your example of integrity. The healing of the feminine begins with the acceptance of our own journey, however lonely it may seem at times of transition. Your soul is asking for a time of purification, where only what is essential and true should remain by your side during this journey. Many women feel enormous social pressure to be popular or to have a group of friends for every occasion in their busy modern lives. However, deep spirituality teaches us that the number of connections does not reflect the quality of our inner journey or our character. Carl Jung emphasized that true connection occurs at the soul level, and these connections are rare and cannot be forced by the ego. If you are not finding these connections now, it is a sign that your soul prefers sacred waiting to profane and empty fulfillment. Learning to honor your no to invitations that don't resonate with your heart is a very powerful and transformative exercise in emotional liberation. You are becoming a woman of substance, and people of substance rarely fit into collective molds prefabricated by consumer society. Loneliness allows you to explore your hidden talents and passions that were stifled by the need to adapt to the rhythm and tastes of others. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something you loved because your friends weren't interested or because you were afraid of being judged by them? Now, without those constraints, you have the total freedom to discover who you are when no one is watching or expecting anything from you. This process of self-discovery is one of the most beautiful parts of rebuilding after a period of emotional manipulation or a pattern of control. You can start new hobbies, study profound subjects, or simply learn to appreciate the silence of your mornings with a cup of hot coffee. Each small discovery about yourself is a brick in the construction of your new inner home, a place where you will always feel safe. Spiritual maturity occurs precisely when we stop apologizing for preferring our own company over environments that diminish or tire us. There is an elegance in a woman who knows how to be alone without seeming desperate for attention or a place at any table. This posture of emotional self-sufficiency is magnetic and will eventually attract people who possess the same level of awareness and self-respect. Until that happens, enjoy the peace you have achieved with so much effort and so many tears over the past months or years. You are in a phase of closing a cycle, and new cycles require us to be light and ready for what is to come. Your journey is unique, and comparing your social circle to that of other women is a trap you no longer need to accept. Within the structure of the psyche, the personal shadow often manifests itself through our relational difficulties, revealing what we need to heal in our soul. Many women who distance themselves from large groups of friends are, in fact, processing old pains related to a lack of genuine and true emotional support. Carl Jung explained that what we don't resolve internally ends up being projected onto our relationships, and temporary isolation serves as a cleansing laboratory. By being alone, you interrupt the cycle of repeating toxic patterns and begin to filter what is yours and what is someone else's. This discernment process is challenging, but it's what ensures that your future connections are based on truth and not on neediness. Feminine spirituality gains strength when a woman understands that she doesn't need a crowd to validate her existence or her beauty. Throughout life, we are often taught that having many friends is a sign of social success, and that we are kind and good people. However, for Jungian psychology, success is measured by our ability to be authentic, even if it means walking in a direction opposite to the majority. If the price of having many friends was silencing your own voice or accepting disrespectful behavior, then your current solitude is an immense spiritual gain. You are paying the price of freedom, and this price often includes a period of readjustment where old acquaintances no longer fit. Don't see this distancing as a loss, but as a strategic removal made by your own inner guide for your future protection. You are being prepared for a level of consciousness where mediocrity in relationships will no longer have space or any kind of permission. The wound of betrayal among women is something many carry, generating an instinctive movement of withdrawal to avoid further disappointment in the near future. This self-protective movement is healthy and necessary for a time until your confidence in your own intuition is fully restored and firm. Jung spoke about the importance of integrating the wounded feminine so that we can relate from a place of healing and not fear. While you heal, it's natural to prefer the company of books, nature, or animals which offer a pure and non-judgmental presence. This contact with what is simple and true helps recalibrate your emotional system, preparing it to better discern people's intentions. Allow yourself this time of retreat without feeling guilty for not being out there socializing as other people expect you to do now. The absence of female friends can also be an invitation for you to develop your inner masculine polarity, bringing more structure, focus, and protection to your own life. When we lack an external support network, we are forced to find that network within ourselves, becoming our own protectors and emotional providers. This balance between the receptive feminine and the protective masculine is what Jung called the union of opposites, a fundamental milestone in individuation. You are learning to defend yourself, to make decisions on your own, and to trust your judgment without needing to consult 10 different people beforehand. This autonomy is one of the greatest gifts that solitude can offer a woman who has always depended on the opinions of others to act. Feel the strength that grows in your chest each time you solve a problem or face a challenge relying only on your own ability. Remember that the quality of your spiritual life is intimately linked to your ability to be present in the now without anxiety about the future. The lack of close friends drastically reduces external dramas, allowing you to focus your attention on the practice of mindfulness and daily gratitude. You can transform your routine into a self-care ritual, where each gesture is an affirmation of your worth and your new commitment. Use this time to pray, meditate, write, or simply contemplate the beauty of the small things that previously went unnoticed. Spirituality is not something that happens only in temples, but rather in the stillness of your heart when you decide to be true to yourself. Your journey of reconstruction is being guided by invisible forces that honor your courage to choose the path of truth and inner peace. The absence of a vast social circle allows a woman to connect with her most primal instinct, the one that has been silenced for years. In depth psychology, this reconnection is called encountering her most authentic and wild self, the one that knows exactly who she is now. Without the distractions of trivial conversations, you begin to hear your own heartbeat and understand the signals your body sends. This silent strength that arises from solitude is what allows you to establish clear and non-negotiable boundaries from now on in your renewed life. You learn that peace is worth much more than the presence of people who cannot see the depth of your soul. Spiritual maturity occurs when we stop searching outside for what already dwells within us in such a vibrant and full of life way. Right now, you might be wondering, what is my soul trying to tell me through this silence that surrounds me these days? Often the answer doesn't come in words, but in a feeling of relief at no longer having to play a role to be accepted. Solitude is the stage where you can shed all the pretenses and simply be yourself, with your lights and shadows integrated. Carl Jung believed that the secret to mental health lay in accepting our totality, and solitude is the best place for this practice. You are discovering that you are capable of sustaining yourself emotionally, and that your happiness is not a byproduct of constant and exhausting social interaction. This discovery is a turning point in your life, as it takes power out of the hands of others and puts it back where it belongs. The clarity that emerges when we stop trying to fit into groups is like a light illuminating the dark corners of our journey. You begin to realize which friendships were based on mutual exchange and which were merely energy vampirism disguised as constant and friendly companionship. This discernment is a clear sign of maturity, and that your consciousness is rising to a new level of human existence. Spirituality invites us to be like gold, which passes through fire to be purified of all impurities and shine intensely. Your current isolation is this purifying fire that is removing false connections so that your true essence can finally be seen by all. Do not be afraid of the process, for the end result will be a much more whole, secure woman, truly connected to the divine. The journey of rebuilding requires you to be kind to yourself and to respect your own healing time and deep introspection. Don't compare yourself to women who always seem surrounded by friends and laughter, because you don't know the price they pay. Often, behind large social groups, there is a profound loneliness and an immense fear of facing the silence of one's own inner self. You had the courage to face this silence and cross the emotional desert to find your own oasis of peace and self-knowledge. This courage is what defines a spiritual and conscious woman, capable of creating her own reality from her inner strength and faith. Feel the presence of your spiritual guides by your side, reminding you that you are never truly alone when you are at peace with yourself. How have you noticed the changes in your intuition since your circle of friends became more restricted or even non-existent? This question is important so that you can notice the real gains of this period and value each small advance in your perception of the spiritual world. Intuition is the voice of the soul, and it speaks much louder when there is no interference from other people's opinions or constant judgments. By observing this growth, you will feel more motivated to continue investing in your personal development and your emotional reconstruction after difficult experiences. Your journey is an example of silent and elegant overcoming, showing that it is possible to rise from the ashes of draining relationships with more wisdom. Continue trusting the process, because each phase has its purpose, and this current silence is the seed of a wisdom that will soon blossom. The concept of individuation teaches us that the totality of being is only achieved when we accept the most difficult parts of our past journey. If you have few friends today, perhaps it's because your soul is demanding an authenticity that your old social circle cannot match. Growth hurts because it distances us from what is familiar, but it brings us closer to what is essential for our spiritual evolution. Jung stated that the real goal of life is to become unique and true to one's own nature, even if it costs social popularity. Therefore, your current solitude is not a punishment, but a reward for your courage to seek the truth above comfortable lies. Each moment of quiet is an opportunity for reconstruction, where you lay brick by brick the new values that will guide your path. It's common to feel a kind of grief for friendships that are gone, even knowing that they no longer served us well or made sense to us. This grief is necessary to honor who you were during that period and to release the energies that are still attached to those old people. Jungian psychology suggests that by letting go of what is gone, we open space for a new archetype of relationship to form internally. You are cleansing your personal altar, removing false idols so that your truth can occupy the central place in your life now. Don't rush to replace the people who left. Allow the empty space to teach you about the fullness of being who you are. Spirituality flourishes in detachment, and you are experiencing one of the deepest forms of detachment a human being can experience. Notice how your vital energy is being preserved when you no longer need to get involved in dramas that don't belong to you or interest you. Before, you might have spent hours trying to solve problems for friends who didn't really want to change, only complain and drain your precious time. Now that same energy can be directed towards your projects, your physical health, and your connection with the sacred that dwells within you. This redirection of energy is what allows for an accelerated and much more solid reconstruction of your self-worth and self-esteem. You are discovering that you are your best ally and that your energy is a valuable resource that should be invested wisely. Being selective about who has access to your time is one of the greatest proofs of maturity a woman can give herself. The lack of friends also forces us to confront our deepest fears about rejection and about what it means to be enough on our own. When there is no one to validate us externally, we are forced to find that validation within our own hearts and in our divine connection. This process strengthens the muscle of self-confidence in a way that no friendship, however good, could do so profoundly. You are learning that the opinion of God or the universe about you is the only one that truly has the power to define your destiny. By overcoming the fear of being alone, you become invincible, because no one can threaten you with the withdrawal of their presence or attention. This is true spiritual liberation, the state where you are free to be who you are, without shackles or fears of abandonment. Consider this period of fewer friends as a phase of social fasting, to purify your deepest and most sincere desires and intentions. Just as the body needs detoxification, the soul also needs to rid itself of emotional toxins accumulated over years of interaction with immature people. This fast brings incredible mental clarity, allowing you to make decisions based on reason and intuition without the fog of social pressure. You will see that at the end of this cycle, your vision of what a real friendship is will have completely changed for the better. You will no longer accept anything less than respect, reciprocity, and a connection that elevates both spirits involved in the future relationship. Until then, enjoy the purity that this isolation brings to your daily life and to your constant peace of mind. It's common that, after a draining relationship, trust in others is also shaken, generating a necessary withdrawal and self-protection mechanism. This defense mechanism shouldn't be seen as permanent, but as a cocoon where the deepest transformation is secretly taking place. Over time, this need for isolation will give way to a new type of connection, much more selective and based on a higher frequency. You are learning to distinguish those who have healing hands from those who only wish to observe your pain, out of curiosity or ego. Spirituality teaches us that the universe removes certain people so that we have space to receive those who truly belong to our destiny. Be patient with your process and don't feel pressured to socialize before your heart feels truly safe. At this stage, you may feel that the world around you is a little grayer, but this is merely the contrast to the light growing within. Deep psychology reminds us that gold is forged under pressure and in hidden places in the earth, far from the superficial light of the sun. Your soul is going through this forging process, becoming more resilient, brighter, and far more valuable than it was before. The few people who remain by your side during this period of social dryness are those who truly deserve your trust. Cherish these few bonds, for they are the bridges that connect your wounded past to your fully rebuilt and hopeful future. If there is no one, trust that the universe itself is your support network and that it never fails those who seek healing. What feelings arise when you realize you no longer need to justify your life to a group of people? This freedom to be invisible to the collective for a while can be one of the most liberating experiences in a conscious woman's life. You can change your habits, your clothes, your beliefs, and your plans without anyone trying to pull you back to your old self. This room for maneuver is essential for those who are rebuilding their lives, as it allows for experimentation that would be impossible under the critical gaze of friends. Use this freedom to test new ways of being and expressing yourself in the world. Without fear of making mistakes or being judged, you are the architect of your new life, and the construction site is free from external interference so you can work in peace. The silence of absent friendships is also an invitation to a deeper dialogue with the sacred feminine that dwells within all women. Jung spoke about the importance of connecting with archetypal images that give us strength and direction in moments of emotional crisis. You can find comfort in the image of great women from history or mythology who also walked solitary paths in search of wisdom. This spiritual connection fills the void left by human friends, bringing a sense of belonging to something much greater and more eternal. You are part of a lineage of seeking women, those who are not content with the superficial and who are willing to go deep. Feel the honor of being part of this select group of souls who prefer truth to the social convenience of a group. Finally, understand that your solitude is a natural filter that repels opportunistic people and attracts only those who share a similar quest to yours. When you don't exude a need for attention, you cease to be a target for people who seek to control or manipulate the emotions of others. Your self-sufficiency is a spiritual shield that protects your energy field from unwanted invasions and unnecessary strain. You are learning to be the guardian of your own heart, and this is a lesson you will carry with you for the rest of your life. In the future, when new friendships arise, they will find a woman who knows her worth and who doesn't accept less than she deserves. Until then, continue investing in yourself because you are your most important project and the most loyal companion you will have. Often, a woman without friends is one who has decided to break the cycles of comparison that are common in immature and overly competitive female environments. By rising above these dynamics, she naturally becomes an uncomfortable mirror for those who still find pleasure in diminishing the brilliance of others. Jungian psychology shows that by integrating our own light, we stop tolerating environments where the darkness of others tries to extinguish us. Your solitude is a seal of moral quality, indicating that you prefer emptiness to filling it with cheap emotional substances. You are developing a rare autonomy, becoming the master of your own journey without depending on applause or constant validation. The awakening of feminine consciousness goes through this desert phase, where only what is divine and real can truly survive. True spiritual friendship is a mirror of the soul, and if you haven't yet found that mirror, walking alone is the wisest course of action. A woman who embraces solitude after a difficult experience is cleansing her energy field to attract what is sacred. What seems like an end is a glorious new beginning where you dictate the rules of who has access to your intimacy. There's nothing wrong with being a woman of few words. This is often a sign of a rich and profound mind. Value every lesson that silence has brought you, for they are the jewels that will adorn your new life of freedom. Your energy is being saved for bigger projects, for dreams that demand total focus, and for a healing that will transform your story. This isolation allows you to recover your natural rhythm, the one you lost trying to keep up with others for so long. Every woman has her own time to process emotions, to create and to rest, and excessive friendships often disrupt this time. Now, you can wake up and set the tone for your day without having to negotiate your needs with anyone but yourself. This synchronicity with your internal rhythm is fundamental to the health of your nervous system and to the clarity of your spiritual vision of the future. You are becoming more harmonious, more centered, and less reactive to external stimuli that previously threw you off balance so easily. Take advantage of this harmony to plan your next steps with the calm of someone who knows that time is on their side. Jung emphasized that solitude is an opportunity to encounter the animus, the masculine part of the feminine soul that brings courage and action. By not having friends to consult with every little doubt, you are forced to activate this inner strength to take the reins of your life. This inner strengthening is what will allow you to achieve great transformations that previously seemed impossible or too frightening to face. You are discovering a source of power that was buried under layers of social dependence and fear of not being accepted by a group. This discovery is a milestone in your maturation and ensures that you will never again feel helpless, no matter the external circumstances you face. You have become your own rock, your own safe haven, amidst the turbulent sea of life's changes. Feel gratitude for having the opportunity to live this experience consciously and with the support of such rich psychological and spiritual tools. Many women go through this without understanding what is happening, feeling only pain and rejection, but you have the clarity to see the purpose. This clarity is what transforms suffering into wisdom and loneliness into a productive solitude full of profound spiritual meaning. You are a woman who has chosen the path of awareness, and this path always leads to places of great peace and personal fulfillment. Stay strong, knowing that this chapter of your life is just a preparation for a much more beautiful and authentic story. The universe is orchestrating the right encounters that will happen when your soul is fully ready to receive them. Reconstructing female identity requires looking inward with brutal honesty, something only isolation fully and completely allows. Carl Jung said that we cannot change anything unless we first accept it, and accepting your current condition is your power. If you are alone now, accept this as a gift so that you can get to know yourself without the social masks you used to wear. Discover what your real tastes are, what books you truly enjoy reading, and what kind of art makes your soul vibrate now. This process of self-discovery is the foundation for unwavering self-esteem that will never again allow you to submit to controlling patterns. You are becoming your own best friend, and this is the most lasting and important relationship you will build in your entire life. If this video has given new meaning to the phase you are going through and helped you see your solitude in a new light, please subscribe. Your presence here helps strengthen this healing space and ensures that more women find the support they need to cross their deserts. By subscribing, you declare that you are committed to your evolution and that you value content that respects your journey of transformation and peace. We are here to walk together, transforming each challenge into a stepping stone towards a much higher, more elegant, and meaningful consciousness. Remember that each cycle has its time and that you are exactly where you need to be to flourish with great strength. The maturity you seek is happening now, in every choice to prioritize your inner peace above any external noise. The spiritual meaning of having few friends lies in the ability to become a beacon of your own light in a world that prefers dependence. When you stop searching outside for what can only be found within, you reach a level of emotional sovereignty that is truly liberating. Carl Jung's path shows us that personality integration is an act of courage against a system that wants us fragmented. Feel proud of the woman you are becoming, someone who does not fear silence and who respects her own sacred boundaries. The peace you feel today, even in solitude, is proof that your soul has finally found its way back home. This is the closing of a phase of pain and the beginning of an era of clarity, where your silent strength will guide your steps. The healing journey is ongoing, but the foundations you are laying now in solitude will support all your future victories. You have learned that you don't need much to be happy, just truth, respect, and an honest connection with your own divine essence. This simplicity is the mark of evolved souls who have already understood that what is essential is invisible to the eyes and does not depend on numbers. Continue your journey with your head held high, knowing that your lack of friends today is a sign of your greatness and spiritual refinement. The world needs women like you, who have the courage to be who they are, regardless of whether they are accompanied or not on their path. Your light is needed, and your story of reconstruction will inspire many other souls to seek their own truth and their own peace. You are stronger than you imagine, and your solitude is sacred ground for miracles. May each word spoken here serve as a balm for your heart and as fuel for you to continue your search for clarity. Don't rush, don't compare yourself, and above all, never again abandon yourself in exchange for crumbs of empty social attention. You are an entire universe waiting to be explored by yourself before being shared with those who are truly worthy of your presence. Spirituality embraces you at this moment, recognizing your effort and your unique beauty that shines brightest in the silence of your soul. Walk in peace, walk with faith, and know that the best of your story is yet to be written in the colors of your freedom.